Taking the titles at ESL One Cologne 2020, Dreamhack Fall 2020, and ESL's most recent season of Pro League, cadiaN's stock as an in-game leader is at an all-time high.
There's no way, cadiaN, you can't win Pro League like this! You can't win Pro League like this! No way! The leader, calling well above his years, clearing corners. Oh no! You're an animal!
Despite recent successes, this Dane story is anything but a simple tale of a gradual journey to the top. Filled with crushing disappointments, failed endeavours and false promises giving way to poisoned chalices, few players reach the top in the face of so many adversities. This is a tale of unparalleled redemption. This is cadiaN's story. Heading into and throughout 2014, cadiaN began to make a name for himself in global offensive, making his first foray into professional level play. And whether or not the opinions of his peers were justified, whilst moving rapidly from team to team, cadiaN developed a poor reputation within the scene, making it next to impossible for him to ascend the Counter-Strike ladder towards the top Danish squads. Jumping forward to 2016, and cadiaN would link up with Tensky and Maniac to form a new European mix under organisation Rogue. Any initial hopes for this squad, however, proved to be short-lived, and after only 6 or so months with a slew of mediocre results, the plug was pulled on the project. Landing on his feet, cadiaN relocated to North America to compete with Rogue's brand new NA-centric squad. Qualifying for FACEIT's London Major towards the end of 2018 alongside players such as Hiko, Ricky and hot prospect Sick, Rogue was on a steep upwards trajectory, and cadiaN was fast proving himself a capable, top-level in-game leader.
Now Shazam has to look into 2 places and he can't. 16-11, Rogue have done it, and you can see how much it means to cadiaN and his lovely compatriots here on Rogue. They've worked so hard for this, and they played lights out.
Back across the pond, Danish squad North had been on a slow and steady decline. And despite taking an extremely impressive title at Dreamhack Stockholm in September 2018, rampant inconsistency in results forced a roster move, as the Danes parted way with longtime in-game leader MSL. Finally, cadiaN received his long-awaited opportunity to lead a top Danish squad, which he eagerly snapped up. Yet, however sweet the deal seemed, this was a decision cadiaN would quickly live to regret. Over the coming months, North proved to be a squad rife with internal issues. And despite cadiaN's best efforts to rally the team, internal problems persisted, and a lack of motivation from key players meant a decline in results was certain to follow.
cadiaN and Kirby, can they save some amount of pride here? Or is it all going to be washed away?
It's coming, Dan!
Oh, it's hard to watch.
Give it to me. I want it all.
There it is, Cirque, of course. 16-0. NRG, would you have anticipated that one?
Poor team atmosphere aside, as an in-game leader, cadiaN found himself clashing with his players. Under former captain MSL, North had a strict system, whilst in stark contrast, cadiaN expected them to be comfortable with taking individual initiative. Unsurprisingly, the Dane loathed his time leading North, and his relatively quick departure came almost as a relief. On reflection, what was meant to be cadiaN's opportunity to prove himself at the top had turned to dust. And with limited information given to the public, many outsiders pointed the finger squarely at cadiaN for North's failings, and the reputation he had spent years redeeming was in tatters. Approaching the end of 2019, cadiaN would take a step back from leading to focus solely on AWPing, as he joined Heroic's squad with in-game leader Snappy at the helm. And after a handful of promising results to close out the year, Heroic were in a great spot to build upon this potential heading into the 2020 season.
On their advance, Clip round the back is going to get the first drop player. Snappy is low, M4 comes in, and Borup stands his ground for 2! The Danes move forward to the grand final!
With such promise being recognised by onlookers and B-Side's inaugural event of Flashpoint Season 1 in early 2020 fast approaching, the Heroic squad decided to relocate to a new organisation in the Flashpoint partner team at Fun Plus Phoenix, and soon arrived for Season 1 in Los Angeles ready to compete. However, once again, what seemed like a golden opportunity quickly turned south for cadiaN and company. And in an unbelievable sequence of events, FPX pulled out of the deal after the squad had already begun competing, their breakdown in talks triggered by SSTag's upcoming move to Astralis. With team morale shattered, the squad regrouped under the heroic banner, and after returning dejected from Flashpoint, they made dramatic changes, as cadiaN moved into the in-game leader role alongside Snappy's departure, plus the additions of hot prospect Tezes and dependable rifler Nico. Following 2020's summer player break, despite the wild rollercoaster of events only a few months in the past, Heroic made a huge leap forward, and following an impressive second place at Dreamhack Summer, the Danes claimed the title in attendance of ESL One Cologne, arguably the most esteemed tournament of 2020 since the pandemic began.
This is the first Cologne for Borup, cadiaN, Tessus, and they're the last team standing. Unbelievable. Absolutely incomprehensible. Certainly for the French. Wow, cadiaN can't quite believe it.
Heroic's extremely proactive and ballsy playstyle had worked flawlessly, and despite experiencing considerable turbulence in the wake of Hunden's coaching ban, the Danes would claim another title soon after at Dreamhack Fall's RMR event. However, cadiaN and company's well-beating form was unsustainable. Heading into 2021, the results would take a dive versus their then established high standards, and following a disappointing placing in attendance of IM Katowice, Heroic decided a change was needed. Swapping out Borup and Nico in favour of Mad Lions riflers Shush and Refresh, cadiaN and company went into ESL Pro League with limited time to integrate their two new players and flush out a fresh playbook. During the course of Pro League, despite this being the lineup's debut international tournament, cadiaN and company went on a dream run, dropping only 5 maps total during the entire event and toppling Gambit in a gargantuan 5-map thriller final.
For him. He just has to hit this shot and he's done it for Heroic. The leader calling well above his years, clearing corners. Oh no! You're an animal! Heroic have done it and I just can't believe it. 40% of their team only together since February. And with nothing but a P250, Chad, I'm in disbelief. In the most competitive league in the world, cadiaN, Kasper Müller. He does it with nothing.
With Heroic, cadiaN has proved himself as one of our game's best in-game leaders, taking 2 different lineups stacked with skilled yet relatively inexperienced players to coveted titles. After all the years of moving from home to home, being sold on projects which time and time again have failed due to reasons out of his control, cadiaN finally has a team and an organisation which buys into his system, buys into his approaches, and through being more than the sum of their parts, the Dane has elevated his heroic squads to Counter-Strike's top step. Undoubtedly, his history of disappointments have made these successes of late all the sweeter. For this is cadiaN's finest hour, this is cadiaN's redemption.